And then I'll call out on the airport frequency so any other pilots in the area know what we're doing. Ocean Springs traffic, RB 727 Tango Tango, back taxi runway 18 for departure, Ocean Springs. And we'll close the canopy once we're ready for takeoff, but this time of year, well actually it's not too bad now, but in the summertime, I love this slider canopy because it allows you to taxi with it open.
Yeah.
All right, so we get lined up on 18 here. Watch your head here for a second. Ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, are you prone at all to air sickness or anything that you know of? Or?
That I know of.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I call the RV takeoff. It's usually a lot of fun, although I've had one or two people that immediately started feeling sick. But we're going to lift off the runway and fly down the runway about 10 feet or so above the runway. And when we get toward the end, by then we'll be up to about 100 knots. And then I'm just going to do a good, nice, sharp pull-up. It's not like a 2G thing, huh?
Using ground effect on the runway?
Yeah, we'll use ground effect on the runway. And then when we pull up, it'll be probably 1.5, maybe close to 2 Gs. When we pull up, and then we'll level back out again and fly out toward the Gulf. So.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Ocean Springs traffic, RB 727 Tango Tango, departing runway 18, Ocean Springs. What I'm looking for on my airspeed over here is about 55 or so is when we can get the nose off the ground. And by 60, we should be airborne. There we go. And I'll just stay down low until we get to the end of the runway. And right about here, we can pull up. Woo! And then level back out again. That got us, we were about 3,000 feet per minute there for about 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds. Fly away from the sun so we don't have the sun in our eyes. Let's turn and fly back over. Let's see, where are we? We can fly over the high school here. Pull our speed back. This thing's a rocket. I still don't. I had this thing for a year and I still can't get used to how fast it accelerates. We're doing 154 knots right now. 160 knots across the ground, which is about 180 miles an hour. I'll bring the high school down your side there. Did you go to Ocean Springs or?
Yeah, I did. I graduated with Devin.
Oh, but then you know my wife, probably. Mrs. Bynum?
Oh, yeah. Really? That's your wife?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's a librarian over here now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I taught English when I was...
Yep. You taught English until 2 years ago? 3 years ago. She went over to Calmer Middle School in Pascagoula and to be a librarian. Did that for 2 years and then came back over here this year as one of their librarians.
Yeah, she was one of my favorite teachers there.
She seems to be everybody's favorite. I know she's my favorite teacher, but you know, she seems to be the students' favorite teachers too. My speed back down a little bit. And then we can come down to about 500 feet. Like I said, we could go lower, but we'll go down to 500 feet and keep our eye on this guy. He's just about off our nose. He's 500 feet above us now, so we'll be below him, so that's good. Still don't see him, but he'll be above us somewhere. He's now off of our left wing out here somewhere.
That is the coolest feeling.
And what's that? The climbing down, or down, yeah. Or the turn, yeah.
Yeah. And when you took off.
Yep. We can do a roll if you wanted to. But...
Absolutely.
All right. We'll climb up. Got to have some safe altitude for that.
Right.
Give me just a minute to build up a little more speed. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to go 30 degrees nose high. Right about there, center it up, and roll over.
Traffic not available.
Didn't do that one quite right, but because it did go not negative, but it did go a little light. And part of the problem there, I'm going to do it again to the left. Part of the problem there is it's harder to pull this way with my left hand. This way I can go all the way over. We'll do it again, if you like.
Absolutely.
That one was better. It started light and I corrected halfway through it. That should make a pretty good video.
Lessons?
What's that?
You do flight lessons?
No, I'm not a flight instructor for private flying now. Ocean Springs traffic, RB 727 Tango Tango's left base runway 18 full stop, Ocean Springs. Now I'm looking to go perpendicular across the runway, which I am, and I can see the runway out here. I'm going to look and make sure there's nobody coming in on final, and then we'll turn final. Ocean Springs
Caution.
traffic, RB 727 Tango Tango is final, runway 18 full stop, Ocean Springs. Overshot it just a little bit, so we'll come back over to the center line. And my speed's high, so I'm going to let it come down. And I don't know how much you play with it in the simulator. This is my elevator trim, so I'm trimming the elevator up a bit because it wants to sink. So I trim it up until I can let go and it maintains the attitude I want it to. Yep, that's just, yeah, for nose up and down. The faster you go, the more the plane wants to climb because of lift on the wings.
Right.
So you have to trim the nose down. When you go faster, you have to trim the nose up when you slow down. And I'm shooting for 70, which I'm just under now, but we're committed to the runway now, so. And then just let it settle onto the runway. One of my smoother lands in a while.